When I'm looking for inspiration, I often turn to one of my favorite writers, Elizabeth Gilbert. This is from her book, Big Magic: Creative Living Beyond Fear. I've long been inspired by the private diaries of the 2nd century Roman emperor Marcus Aurelius. The wise philosopher king never intended that his meditations be published, but I'm grateful that they were. I find it encouraging to watch this brilliant man 2,000 years ago trying to keep up his motivation to be creative and brave and searching. His frustrations and his self-cajoling sound amazingly contemporary, or maybe just eternal and universal. You can hear him working through all the same questions that we all must work through in our lives. Why am I here? What have I been called to do? How am I getting in my own way? How can I best live out my destiny? I especially love watching Marcus Aurelius fighting his perfectionism in order to get back to work on his writing, regardless of the results. Do what nature demands, he writes to himself. Get a move on, if you have it in you, and don't worry whether anyone will give you credit for it. And don't go expecting Plato's Republic. Be satisfied with even the smallest progress, and treat the outcome of it all as unimportant. Please tell me I'm not the only one who finds it endearing and encouraging that a legendary Roman philosopher had to reassure himself that it's okay not to be Plato. Really, Marcus, it's okay. Just keep working. Through the mere act of creating something, anything, you might inadvertently produce work that is magnificent, eternal, or important, as Marcus Aurelius did, after all, with his meditations. You might not, on the other hand. But if your calling is to make things, then you still have to make things in order to live out your highest creative potential. And also in order to remain sane. Possessing a creative mind, after all, is something like having a border collie for a pet. It needs to work, or else it will cause you an outrageous amount of trouble. Give your mind a job to do, or else it will find a job to do, and you might not like the job it invents. Eating the couch, digging a hole through the living room floor, biting the mailman, etc. It has taken me years to learn this, but it does seem to be the case that if I am not actively creating something, then I am probably actively destroying something, myself, a relationship, or my own peace of mind. I firmly believe that we all need to find something to do in our lives that stops us from eating the couch. Whether we make a profession out of it or not, we all need an activity that is beyond the mundane and that takes us out of our established and limiting roles in society: mother, employee, neighbor, brother, boss, etc. We all need something that helps us to forget ourselves for a while, to momentarily forget our age, our gender, our socioeconomic background, our duties, our failures, and all that we have lost and screwed up. We need something that takes us so far out of ourselves that we forget to eat, forget to pee, forget to mow the lawn, forget to resent our enemies, forget to brood over our insecurities. Prayer can do that for us. Community service can do it. Sex can do it. Exercise can do it. And substance abuse can most certainly do it, albeit with god-awful consequences. But creative living can do it too. Perhaps creativity's greatest mercy is this. By completely absorbing our attention for a short and magical spell, it can relieve us temporarily from the dreadful burden of being who we are. Best of all, at the end of your creative adventure, you have a souvenir, something that you made, something to remind you forever of your brief but transformative encounter with inspiration. That's what my books are to me, souvenirs of journeys that I took, in which I managed, blessedly, to escape myself for a little while. An abiding stereotype of creativity is that it turns people crazy. I disagree. Not expressing creativity turns people crazy. If you bring forth what is within you, what you bring forth will save you. If you don't bring forth what is within you, what you don't bring forth will destroy you. Gospel of Thomas. Bring forth what is within you then, whether it succeeds or fails. Do it whether the final product, your souvenir, is crap or gold. Do it whether the critics love you or hate you, or whether the critics have never heard of you and perhaps never will hear of you. Do it whether people get it or don't get it. It doesn't have to be perfect. and you don't have to be Plato. It's all just an instinct and an experiment and a mystery, so begin. Begin anywhere, preferably right now. And if greatness should ever accidentally stumble upon you, let it catch you hard at work and sane.